Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. I'm Lian Buan, the Justice Reporter of Rappler. And last night, we had developments from the International Criminal Court concerning the supposedly ongoing investigation into the Philippine bloody war on drugs, as well as the Davao killings in Davao City when President Rodrigo Duterte was mayor and vice mayor of the city. So ang nangyari, I'll go through you the sequence of events. Ang nangyari nung November 10, our ambassador to the Netherlands, Ambassador Eduardo Malaya, filed a deferral request to the ICC. It is a procedure found under the Rome Statute, and basically ang nature lang nito ay sinasabi ng gobyerno sa International Criminal Court na defer to us. It's a request that says we are doing our own investigations. Meron kaming ginagawang sariling investigasyon tungkol sa war on drugs, so respetuhin nyo yung aming investigation and defer to our investigations. It's called a deferral request found under Article 18 of the Rome Statute. So in that request, the Philippine government cited many of the recent developments made by our Philippine Department of Justice, including yung kakarabas nilang matrix ng 52 cases of police killings in the war on drugs. So immediately, the reaction to that by the human rights community is 52 cases out of 7,000 and out of 20,000 overall killings is not a genuine investigation. So there's that. After 8 days, Prosecutor Karim Khan notified the chamber and the parties that he is temporarily suspending the investigative activities into the Philippines. But he did say, though, that and I will quote him. He said, Karim Khan said, the prosecution will, however, continue its analysis of information already in its possession, as well as of any new information it may receive from third parties, and actively assess the need for applications to the pretrial chamber for authority to conduct necessary investigative steps for the preservation of evidence under Article 18.6 of the statute. So ano ba? Sinuspindi ba? Tuloy pa rin ba? This notice by Prosecutor Khan, the language is very clear that the suspension is just to assess the deferral request of the Philippines. And sinabi niya nga na even though merong temporary suspension, they will continue their analysis of the information na meron na sa kanila, and any new information that may be received by third party. So kung mag-submit ang third party sa kanila, they will continue its analysis. So it's kind of we will suspend it, but we will continue anyway. So the language of Prosecutor Karim Khan makes it clear that it was a procedural temporary suspension because meron silang natanggap na deferral request. Therefore, kailangan nilang i-assess kung i-suspend nila or i-stop. I've talked to some lawyers and they've read some materials about the ICC. Kung titignan nyo kasi yung Rome Statute, meron dong nakalagay na if the state proves that it has genuine investigation, then the prosecutor of the ICC must defer to that investigation. By filing this formal deferral request to the ICC, meron ng mas proactive role na ginawa ang gobyerno para i-recognize supposedly yung kanilang genuine investigation, because before that, it's just statements from Harry Roque, statements from Malacanang, it's just posturing. Now it's a formal deferral request submitting to the ICC evidence, supposedly 7 pages worth of document evidence na may ginagawa ang Pilipinas, including the AO35 panel, which, by the way, has not released any report about the Bloody Sunday incident. The joint program with United Human Rights Council, the justice system's remedy of a petition for amparo, not mentioning in the deferral request that the amparo petition is actually under review by the Supreme Court because of its weaknesses to protect activists, human rights defenders, and even lawyers who are getting killed in the administration. Yung binasa kong libro, sinasabi dito that actually, yung deferral request, it's not actually a request, but a demand, because the wording of the Rome Statute says it must defer. Pero ang design ng ICC, it gives the pretrial chamber, the court, the power to actually decide kung magde-defer sila. So when Prosecutor Karim Khan applies to the pretrial chamber that okay, i-continue ko yung investigation notwithstanding the referral request. The burden is upon him to prove to the pretrial chamber, to the ICC, that yung sinasabing investigation na domestic ng Pilipinas is not actually a genuine kind of investigation. So the burden is on him to prove that admissible pa rin yung alleged crimes against humanity, na nasa jurisdiction pa rin yun ng ICC. And even if Prosecutor Karim Khan says, I will defer to the state, I have determined that the investigations are genuine, this book says the pretrial chamber can still override any application by the OTP and any request by the state. So eventually, it all falls upon the judgment and discretion of the pretrial chamber kung magde-defer talaga sa Pilipinas. So basically, ang nangyari is it's stepping on the brakes of what was an ongoing investigation, and it kind of triggers another round of determination of admissibility. So the goal was achieved to that extent. Medyo nasuspend na, natigilan ng konti, and it will trigger another round of admissibility. Kumbaga, if this was ongoing in Philippine courts, nagkaroon ulit ng motion to quash, parang ganon, or motion for reconsideration on the denial of the motion to quash, parang ganon. So magkakaroon ulit ng another round of determination. So that's that is the status in the ICC, and because it's a temporary suspension, the status remains that merong investigasyon ang ICC sa Pilipinas, at if Prosecutor Karim Khan will continue, the next step would be to seek evidence kung sino yung hihilingan niya na ma-issuehan ng summons or arrest warrant. And President Rodrigo Duterte is running for senator. He has turned back on his promise to retire from politics to run for senator. He's fielding his longtime aide, Senator Bongo, to run for president. And even though there are some disagreements here and there and some family conflicts, his daughter, Mayor Sara Duterte, is running for vice president. Malacanang claims that this is not a move to, fortify the defenses against the ICC to protect President Rodrigo Duterte, but it still remains to be seen what will happen next. And it comes amid a very crucial time in the Philippines. We are in the midst of very pivotal elections that will happen next year, and we don't know if ICC is going to move also next year simultaneously with our election. So let's watch out for that. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. This is a Rappler Recap. I am Lian Buan. Thank you for watching.